Okay, so here is my very special guest. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about the group that we've been working with, and therefore why my co-host and I are going to be doing these streams. But there's a lot of people. Well, okay, small team, a number of people working behind the scenes with me, not only on getting the podcast launched, but also on our actually big major project, which is the poetry, right? And some of you may be familiar with this. It's my Dragon Common Room. I started the chat on Telegram. The channel is Fencing Bear at Prayer. The chat is Dragon Common Room. I started the chat about 2 years ago. It was sort of my COVID project, right? May 2020. I get in there and I'm like, we're going to learn to write iambic pentameter. Now, I know iambic pentameter. Who likes poetry? Well, nobody likes history or math either, and those are the things that we need to be studying. Iambic pentameter is both history and math, right? It's narrative and it's language in meter, right? So it's musical language. It's the practice of putting both sound and meaning together in a structure. My poets sometimes talk about it's like trying to do Sudoku with language. You're trying to fit everything. It's like puzzles. That I didn't know when we first started back in May 2020. I just knew I needed to learn how to do iambic pentameter. We've been working now together for 2 years. The team has added some new people. It's, had, some people stick around. 2 or 3 of us have been like doing it the whole time. We had a big team that worked on the first project, Centrism Games, which was our big Alexander Pope satire. Get a copy of Centrism Games if you really want to celebrate Dobbs v. Jackson, because we called all of it, including, the baby sacrifice. And then, those of you who are familiar with me from Unauthorized know occasionally I show up. For example, I mean, maybe once, it was so occasional. No, twice actually, with Owen. Our second big project was to write a poem for the Bears. And this, we finished Centrism Games in sort of November 2020. And right around that time, Bertaria was getting started and making all of these wonderful projects of art and poetry and stories and gardening and things like that. And I said, well, we should write a fairy story for children. And, I thought that was great. And I thought it was going to be a little short thing. It turned into a full book. Some of you may be familiar with it because Hand Drawn Bear also helped us with the drawing. She did absolutely gorgeous art for us with bears. We got bears and an albatross and penguins and a griffin and an orca and, a treasure hunt. And that book we published right before Christmas this past year, although it's we're still promoting it. We're still trying to get the word out there. If you don't have a copy yet, you can go over to dragoncommonroom.com, and we have all our books listed there, and also information about the big new poem that we're working on, which is called Draco Alchemicus. And I don't want to tell you too much about Draco Alchemicus yet, because Kilts and I are going to really be giving you a lot of keys and backstory to what we're doing in that one. But right now you need to know that my guest, my special helper on getting our tech rehearsal tonight is one of the poets in Dragon Common Room. And she came to me, I think she sort of surfed in on a snowboard, right? And I'm going to just have to bring her in and ask her, how did you find me? She's joined our team as one of the major poets for Dragon Common Room, and tech reasons for her to have her here. She's the one that's been helping me make all these lovely trailers. Without Mel, I would not have the intro, and I would not have that magnificent trailer that we've been showing you for Dragon Common Room, and we just need to have her here. So here she is, ready to be on screen now. Have I pumped you up enough that you're actually, here you go. Okay, you're on. Say hi to the people.
Hello.
So Mel can hear and see
Hi,
all
Mel.
of you.
Hello.
Maybe you tell them how you found me, because you got all those lovely boards in the background, and I do remember that you were posting videos about your snowboarding and such. But I think I also found you in some of the Christian chats over there in Telegram. You wanna give us a story, any story? We're just practicing.
Well, I'm a long time subscriber. I the platform I stumbled onto Logos and history. You kept talking about Telegram, and so I had to find out what Telegram was about.
Telegram's a wild place, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
all of these different channels and chats, and I feel like it's a giant house party, right? That you're in one room, and then you meet some people in that room, and then you get out of a drink, and you end up in another room, and you're like, oh my god, what's going on in this room? And then half the people in that room have been there like forever, and they're like sorting out whether or not they should allow any new people in, and then other rooms are like, oh yeah, come in, come in, come in. Yeah, I, I like it a lot. It's a platform, and it's been really good for me because it's the place where, because the chats work the way that they do in terms of like like ease of conversation, but also sharing media and pictures and videos and stuff like that, links. It's really easy to make them into a writer's room, which is what I did. Tell the people how you ended up being able to help me on my tech, because I think that is actually pretty cool.
I am a snowboarder by trade, and so I've just kind of always been into hashing together all my edits. That I always have a GoPro on, so I've always just kind of been into video editing. I used to even do it kind of back in high school for like parent projects and stuff, but this was definitely, as you like to say, leveling up and honing our skills.
I don't know. You jumped right in, right? So I threw. I mean, it's sort of funny the way our intro video came together, right? It's like I have all these pictures, and there's like a lot of background to each of the pictures, and eventually we'll tell you about all of them. But I'm like, seeing all of these pictures, and I throw these files at Mel and say, "Here, put them in a video." And you came back with something that actually ended up being our basic structure of the sequence, right? So like you had this feeling for the way the pictures went together in the story.
And you kept saying that we wanted to construct a storyboard somehow, and it was just that was the easiest format right off the bat. Whether trying to use any other program, it was just go to a real movie storyboard, and then we can watch it.
Right. Yeah, but there is I mean, you have a real gift, I think, for putting together the meaning of the images.
Well, thank you.
I mean, no, come on. I've been making you re-edit that thing 16 times a day for the last month. Please fix this one. No, that cut too soon. No, we have to redo the music, right? It's like you've done a lot of work, and it's I mean, we're still amateurs at everything, right? Which I'm fine with, because I'm as a teacher, I'm always at amateur level, and oh, let's try this in class, right? I love that. But you've really put a lot of time into making sure that all of those transitions are right, and that the pans are correct and stuff. I bet I don't know how much work you've actually put in, because I'm just like, yeah, that's nice. Sure, it's lovely.
It's okay.
What do we do now?
But
yeah,
it's really the most excruciating part is when I go to save it. I'm just like hoping it all goes through the system. It flows onto the stream.
Well, okay. I got Mel talking about Finnegan's Wake. We've broken the wake.
Excellent.
We've broken the wake.
Woohoo!
You've now thrown the ark into the river and read some Finnegan's Wake into the stream, as it were, into the real stream. This is Kilts' experience with us in Telegram. We also, Kilts talked a lot about what it's like being on Telegram, and how being on Telegram is like being in Finnegan's Wake. It's complicated. No, it makes sense. That because you live where you do on the other side of the planet, you live in the future. And
yes,
and realizing that as we're streaming, we are constantly in the future of what everybody else is seeing. So we're this is what Kilts feels like all the time.
I've been time traveling and living in 2 days at the same time for the last 2.5 years. So people are like, what? Why do you keep asking me what the date is? It's because I've completely eliminated the international date line. I don't even know what it is anymore. It's just this constant day. It's a strange feeling. It's a very, very strange feeling, especially with the lockdowns. That just made it worse. So, without Rachel Fulton Brown, I wouldn't really have any concept of time at all.
Well, yes, we didn't explain that about the Dragon Common Room. That I to get you guys to write the poetry, I make you show up every day. Well, weekdays.
On time. It's challenging.
It's a monastic schedule. It's like, and I called it tea time because we're in the Dragon Common Room, right? But it's like, it starts on the dot because it's digital, right? I can make you start exactly on time. And particularly when we were writing Aurora Borealis, making sure we stopped after the hour, right? It's an hour on weekdays, which for Kilts is in the morning and for us is in the evening. And it's very important if you're, writing, if you're learning to write anything, poetry or dissertations or blog posts or, I don't know, letters to your mom, that you do a regular schedule and brief sessions, right? Regular brief sessions rather than thinking, I'm going to sit down and write this all in 10 hours, right, in one go. That the writing process actually works much more, it's effective because you write, concentrate really intensely, be there in your prayer moment for the hour, and then you go away and your mind keeps working on it, right? You're still picking up ideas and you're still thinking through the problem that you set yourself in the writing. So you kind of have to do both. You have to be regular on time and you have to let yourself stop and take a walk and think about something else and, collect life, right? People that spend all their time only trying to write, for example, if you're doing a dissertation and don't let yourself live, you're not going to write anything. You'll just get burned out. And I do get people, if people are watching in Telegram and you want to know, how do you get to be part of this team? Well, you got to, the Draco Kimkus team is fixed. It's the 5 of us for the duration of this project with our artist, Zay, who we'll tell you about when we do the crowdfund. These are people that had to commit to the daily practice and really want to level up and train and say, it's not just you come in and throw verses at me and, say, are they any good? I'm like, they don't scan. Really discipline each other so that we're singing together, right? And I also have that idea that it's like a choir, right? We sing together into this story. We talked, Mel and I talked a bit about it. It's her image of the Sudoku, putting the numbers in, but it's architectural in that it's architectural in a Gothic architecture way, that you are putting together the structure, and that's very numerically ordered and beautiful.
Learning to count, not learning to code. It's not learn to code now. Learn to scan.
Learn to scan. The language was meant to be, and the spelling, phonemes, right? It's like Joyce can't spell, right? What he's showing you is the sound. That Finnegan's Wake is a song. It's a song. Mel was just explaining that. It's a pub song.
Beautiful.
And the Irish Rovers sing it.
Okay, now I'm going to do what we tend to do in the chat. Go, oh my God, you know the Irish Rovers? How do you know the Irish Rovers? I grew up listening to the Irish Rovers. My dad had all these albums of the Irish Rovers. They have great Unicorn Song?
Yes, I'm looking at the album right now.
I don't think I knew Finnegan's Wake, but I love their Unicorn Song.
I really like the Irish Rovers. I think they're great and, part of our heritage.
Yes, and this is, Joyce's songs, right? So in the music, and that's what the poetry is meant to have, that beat, that heartbeat of the music. We've been training really, really hard and practicing. So when I'm saying Mel is reading Finnegan's Wake, this is real stream stuff, right? We've really leveled up several times. We can almost rhyme most of the time right now. Our scansion is so much better than it was when we started. Yeah.